How's it going, guys? How's it going? Chris Graham here for WeLoveBetting.co.uk. Back after a couple of weeks off at FA Cup and then Cheltenham last week, which was a wonderful experience, but still catching up now and things today. We're getting there. But anyway, three Premier League bets this weekend, 2 out of 3 last week, close to the treble. Feeling quite confident actually. So, although it's a tricky week, to be honest, it's a tricky week, but I managed to pick my 3 favourites. And I'll start off with a team. I was told last Saturday, somebody said to me, "You always back Stoke." So I am again this weekend. I didn't back them last week. I actually thought they'd lose last week. I genuinely mean that. I did tweet the guy before the game against West Brom to tell him that I thought they'd lose, and they did lose. But I think they'll win this weekend. They're at home to Crystal Palace. The key really for me is they're at home. They're playing in a better side than Crystal Palace, and they're odds against. It's a lovely cocktail, and I'll be getting involved with it. Mark Hughes was pissed off as usual in his post-match interviews after the West Brom game last Saturday, and I think he'll definitely demand a better display from his players this Saturday. And the key for me really is their form this season, especially at home, which if you remember back to the start of the season kicked off poorly. But they've really got in great shape now. They've won 7 of their 14 Premier League games at home. But if you take the top 2 out of the equation, i.e. Chelsea and Man City, they're actually unbeaten at home since November, and they've won 5 out of 5 at home against sides outside the top 4 since November. So it's a really fearsome record. It's a really dominant record, and I can see that continuing on Saturday. That's for sure. You know, I've seen enough about Alan Pardew and Crystal Palace. Got a lot of respect for Pardew, what he's done this season. Much maligned at Newcastle, unfairly in my opinion, and he's proven them wrong at Crystal Palace. Great manager. I think that they're safe now in 12th place after the win against QPR last Saturday. They might just coast towards the end of the campaign, and I don't think it'd be too gutted if they lose this weekend. They've picked up. I looked at the record the last 6 weeks. Obviously, he came in, I think it was New Year's Day, wasn't it, the 2nd of January, and got off to a great start, kind of levelled off a wee bit in February. They've picked up wins in the last 6 weeks, but really only against sides they probably should have beaten: Leicester, QPR and West Ham are in disarray at the moment. Maybe I'll be a bit harsh on Palace there. You can only beat the sides in front of you, I guess. But for me, like I said at the start, 3 factors here. Stoke are at home, Stoke are odds against, and Stoke are playing against a side who are worse than them. So for me, it's a bet. Stoke on Saturday, odds against. Spurs against Leicester is the next game. Leicester are down. They're doomed. Forget about them. It's game over. Just forget about it now. Talk about the Championship. They're finished. The ball's burst. How do I know that? Well, I mean, look at the table. I'm not exactly saying anything remotely adventurous by suggesting that. But for me, look at Nigel Pearson now. He's lost. He's gone. He's gone at the game. Like, you look at his eyes. He's just massively. His shell, the energetic man we saw in the first half of the season. I think he's given up, and I wonder how that transmits to his players in the dressing room at the moment. I think he's fed up with these narrow, unlucky defeats, and it's really a passionate guy. I'm sure he is. I'm sure it's having a really tough effect on him, and he's finding it hard to get him so excited and get passionate and get motivated, and for that reason, I've got to take Leicester on. Spurs are a side for me who, week in, week out, are too big a price by half a point, I would say. They've been 1-2 to win this. I think 8-15. If that was this was Liverpool, they'd be 4-11 at home. 1-3. I didn't see how they can be a point shorter than why Spurs are a point bigger than Liverpool. But anyway, that's my view. Spurs for me always too big a price. They are again this weekend. I just get so much time for Spurs. I actually thought they'd have a poor season. I said that at the start of the campaign. I pretty much got that wrong. Still harbouring hopes for Champions League place, but you'd imagine after Sunday's 3-0 defeat that would be an unlikely achievement now. But what really struck me more than I think anything else this season was the way they come back from those 2 defeats in the competitions, Europa League, a couple of Thursdays ago, and then 3 days after that losing the Capital One Cup final to Chelsea, and then the way they come back for that, within 6 days they won twice in the league. Hard game. Swansea and QPR at Loftus Road, so no easy games, and it's full respect for that, really, for Pochettino. And I like them. There's a lot of verve, there's a lot of vigour, there's a lot of there's a little exuberance about this young side. And I looked at their stats, and they've scored 2 or more in 7 of the last 8 Premier League games. I expect that to be 8 out of 9 come Saturday. I can see them scoring twice or more. I'll back them -1 in the Asian handicap here at just short of even money with Bet Victor, and that means if they win by 1 goal, I get my money back. If they win more than that, I get paid out. So that's nice for me. And the final game is a beauty, isn't it? So I'm going out on Saturday night. I'm hardly out these days, but I'm going out on Saturday night. I didn't want to get too drunk because I want to enjoy Liverpool against Manchester United on Sunday at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's a great game. Start with the home side, and once again pay tribute to Brendan Rodgers. Because you think back to the reverse fixture, this game, this tie, back in mid-December when Liverpool lost 3-0 that day. That really was a turning point for their season. That was as low as it got for them, and that was the nadir of their season. They turned it round. They lay stranded in mid-table that day after that defeat, and Rodgers was trading at single figures to be the next manager to leave. I think he got his shot as 5-1 if my memory serves me correctly. But since that freezing Sunday just before Christmas, they haven't lost in the league since, and they haven't actually lost in 90 minutes in this country since. It's a phenomenal turnaround. They've beaten Man City, they've beaten Spurs, they've beaten Southampton, and they're back in the top 5. It's an amazing achievement. And their 7 home league games since that day in mid-December. They've scored 2 or more on every occasion. 3 against Spurs, 2 against Arsenal, 2 against Man City as well. Goals have been no issue. So it's a goals bet I'm backing here, because as much as Manchester United have struggled away from home, quotes as short as evens for Liverpool didn't really appeal to me, to be honest. So I'm looking at a goals bet here. We saw on Sunday that Man United, when they click, can work. It's very rare. I appreciate that away from home, but that 3-0 win at Old Trafford on Saturday was really impressive. Sunday rather. So I'm going for goals here. Remember that day again away from home, they went to the Emirates, Man United, and won, which was a bit of a smash and grab that day. But just 4 away wins out of 14. They have scored in 8 of the last 9 away Premier League games. I think they'll score on Sunday. I think Liverpool might score more than them, but I think they'll score. So naturally, I'm backing over 2.5 goals here at 20-21 with, I can't remember, Bet Victor, I think it is. But they're my 3 bets this weekend. Have a great weekend. See you later.